Hello friends, welcome to Squaird Plans, where creative planning and organization comes to life. I'm Stephanie, and today we'll be creating a horizontal layout for the last week of March in a classic calendar planner. So come plan with me. And I've got some washi tapes from the Washi Tape Shop and Daiso, as well as some stamps and some stamping tools that I have in my stash. I've got some vintage stickers and ephemera from the Stationery Pal, and from your creative studio, I have some papers and some circle stickers. So let's get going. I'm going to go ahead and lay down some wax paper to start things off, to get a feel for how I want this layout to go. Like I said, I got this paper pack from your creative studio, and I've been wanting to see how I might use it in a planner spread since they are papers, they're not stickers. So I thought that it would be nice to use them as decor, but I wasn't quite sure exactly how to get that going. So I just pulled everything that I could think of that had a Postage style vintage theme, and I'm going through all of my sets of items. I pulled out a few stamp-like things as well as some other kind of postage style stickers and papers. And also going to pull in maybe some stationery style vintage things from this sticker pack as well. Just going through everything, just grouping together what I think might work with this spread. I'm not going to get too crazy with this spread. I think I'm just going to do more of a collage style. That always seems to work with vintage items as far as how they go together. If you just do like a simple collage, it usually comes together pretty well. So we're going to go with that this week. Try not to overthink it too much. And right now I'm going through this stamp sticker set that I've had. It's like a washi tape sticker, and just pulling out the ones that aren't too overly botanical. I have a little bit more of that male idea going. And then for some focus areas, I'm going to pull out the circle label box with the 3 colors that are available in there and kind of mix those in. The colors are a little bit bright for the vintage style, but the paper pack, also from your creative studio, has some bright blue, red, and even some green tones. So I thought that they would work even though they are a little bit brighter than a lot of the other stickers. As you can see there in that stamp heavy sheet I just tore, it's got a lot of red and blue tones in it that are pretty vibrant. So I think this will work in the end with those brighter circle stickers, but we will see. I do like that they have a little bit of a worn look to them, so that does fit in, I think, well with that vintage theme. And now I'm just trying to see how I might cluster these guys together. I mainly tore a couple of the sheets and put those in the corners first, just doing it a little bit haphazardly, but I wanted to see how those would lay in. And then I filled in the side with that one last one. I'm definitely doing sort of a mirror styling with it so that you see repetitive images on both sides. That helps bring a spread together, especially one that's kind of eclectic like this one with all the different styles and colors. Just having that repetitive look will help bring things together in the end, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and start gluing in some of those papers so I can build on top of them. And I've done here on the left the corners, and now I'll do this middle area. I'm just using a simple glue stick that I got also from the Stationery Pal and using that to stick them down. I'm going to go ahead and lay that wax paper back over it so that I can actually lay in some of these stickers and see how they might fit in and amongst the papers. Just get a feel for how that would look before I commit. Again, this is going to be very collagey, so I'm not really thinking too much about how things are placed, more so as a border or a larger edge of decor so that it gives something visual to look at and interesting on the spread, but doesn't come too far into the usable space. Only taking up about a third of the page. I'm also pulling in some washi tape, as you can see there. I love these washi tapes. They're so versatile, especially the ones that I got from the washi tape shop. Keep talking them up. I got those with my own money. I haven't been gifted those washi tapes, but I feel like that was one of the best buys that I've done so far with a small shop. They just, I don't know, the washi tape is unique and interesting, and I've found so many different spreads in which to use, both that vintage set and the script set. I think it's called diary roll set. Or roll. Yeah, diary roll. I'll get there. So anyway, I just want to talk them up a little bit because I use them quite a bit, and I think that that was a really good purchase. So if you're kind of frugal like me and you like to make good decisions with your money, I think that one is a well worthwhile spend if you are looking for some long-term planner supplies. So now I'm into the stamping elements that I think I want to bring in here. I also got this set from the Stationery Pal, and I haven't used it yet, so I'm excited to bring this in with this more postage themed spread. So I just grabbed a few of those clear stamps and kind of laid them where I think they'll fit on the page before I actually stamp, just to see what I might use and how I might use it. Again, I am very, what's the best word to describe? I like things how I like them. So stamping is scary for me. If I mess up, there's like no turning back. So I like to do as much as I can with the ability to undo it before I commit. And that is why I use the wax paper and why I kind of sampled out where I thought those stamps would go before I put those on the page. I've laid in the stickers from the wax paper, so I moved those over, and the washi tape as well. It's time to stamp. I just have a large black pad that I got from Ranger Ink, and I'm going to use that to add just a little bit of that overlay stamp element. I wanted to put this stamp underneath the binder clip there, but when I tried to pull it up, it was not coming up easily, and I didn't want to hassle trying to undo it and redo it. So I went ahead and just stamped on top of it. I will kind of soften it a little later because the stamping ink, of course, doesn't adhere as well to the clear stickers because it's a plastic versus the paper stickers is no problem. So I let that dry a little bit when I saw it was still smeary, and then at the end I kind of clean it up a little bit. It does stamp, so there's still an image there in the end when I get all done, but it does fade out a little bit just because, like I said, it didn't really dry properly on the plastic. So now we're moving over to the right side of the page and basically repeating that same process of gluing down the papers, and then I'll also fill in the stickers in and around the papers over with the wax paper. Again, I like to try things before I commit, and the wax paper usually tends to work a little bit better than just going straight for it. I had this one element here that I wasn't sure if it was a sticker or not. Doesn't seem like it is, so I'll glue that down, and then I'll place in the rest of these as stickers where they go best, I guess, kind of filling in the gaps. I did want to have that red circle in the center, but then I sort of forgot, so it ended up a little bit lower on the page, but that's okay. It still balances out. Always thinking about triangles, so I had those two circles on the left that were like high and low on the page, which is why I was thinking center for the red circle here on the right. But it still balances out. It's just a little bit less symmetrical as far as the evenness of the balance, but I think it works overall. And again, just figuring things out, making things sort of collagey, bringing in some washi, filling in any holes or gaps I'm seeing maybe in the collage so it looks like one big piece in the end. And I think we're pretty good. Used up pretty much everything that I had there. We'll drop in some washi here at the top. And then the rest of these stickers where I was seeing the gaps. Of course, I'll need to stick down that antiqued ephemera. I don't know what you call that. Anyway, that piece right here, I'm going to glue it down and probably replace some of the washi. Let's go ahead and stamp first though before we commit any washi. This time I was smart to think ahead as far as where I was going to be laying those stamps, and I tried not to put it anywhere where there was a plastic sticker. I want to use one more here in this little gap area, and I think I'm just going to reuse this one from the top on the other page. But I think, yeah, I want it underneath this instead of on top, so we'll layer it. I did push it in a little bit farther than I had planned to. When I laid it down, I was like, oh, that's not what I intended, but I did a little maneuvering and was able to regain a little bit more space, but then the balance got even worse as far as the triangular balance between the circles. But it was just better than having it almost right aligned there with the stamp I had just done. So I'm going to go ahead and trim off the excess now. Again, this is where I'll clean up that overlay of the stamp on the plastic, just using a little stamp rag that I use often. I think that's good as far as the layout. We'll need to add in some checkboxes for my weekly task lists. So I'm just going to pull in some markers from Mon Ami, I think. Colors are going to be bold enough to really work with the spread. I'm not going to do highlighted squares. I'm going to do little dots just so it's not too distracting from the overall design. Just going to alternate the colors of the different highlighters so that it will go red, green, blue, all the way down through the week and give a little bit of variation of that color throughout the spread. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also, too, go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch. And think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And we will see you next time. Bye!